free tickets at 212-715-6800 or send an email to freetickets@espn.com. Welcome back to Quite Frankly. Last Saturday, while most of the world was watching Floyd Mayweather Jr. take out Carlos Balderman, my next guest was changing the face of the heavyweight division with a technical knockout victory over Sergey Liakovic with 2:59 left in the 12th round to win the WBO heavyweight championship. It was an upset win for sure, but now that he's got a title, can he unite the belts and give the world an undisputed champion for a change? I'll ask him right now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Shannon Briggs.
You go back.
I'll take this belt right here. Thank you very much, Shannon. I appreciate it, man. Heavyweight champion of the world, WBL heavyweight champion of the world. How does that feel for you, man?
Feels great, man. It's starting to hit me now that I'm here, actually, on the show. So I'm like, wow, I am the heavyweight champion of the world. Right. Feels good.
I mean, it was over this kid. I mean, a guy that I never heard of, to be quite honest with you. What does that mean for you in the heavyweight picture in your estimation?
Well, we have 4 former Soviet Union champions and no American heavyweight champions. So it was my goal, and I set out to bring the belt back to America, and I did that.
You're sitting next to one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time, Mr. Larry Holmes. How has he helped you, if at all, in terms of your style, the style that you bring into the ring, the dedication, the focus that you seem to have found? You didn't seem to have that before. That doesn't seem to be the case now.
Yeah, Larry's always been, I've always been his biggest fan, man. I love Larry. I actually called Larry before this fight and asked him to train me. He can tell you that.
Really?
But he said he had to pass on it. But I love Larry, man. He's one of the greatest of all time. Definitely mine.
Why did you pass on it, man? The man needed your help.
Well, I know he needed my help, but, I just feel like traveling, going away from home and stuff. I want to do my own thing back there. And in boxing, I want to kind of like stay away from it a little bit until I get somebody that's really serious. And I want to bring him up from the beginning. He's already there. He don't really need me. All he needs to do
That's not true, Larry.
I want to know, Larry, what do you like about Shannon?
I like about his determination. The guy, he got asthma, but he fights through it. And, the other night, I seen him fight right through it because he got a little tired, but he had to go that other 10, 11, 10, had to go 5, 6 more rounds to get where he wanted to do. What he didn't do some of the things that I needed him to do, wanted him to do, to throw that right hand to the body. And then he took him out.
Now, before you got out here, Shannon, Larry was giving us some training tips. And he was talking about, hey, to keep yourself in shape, you got to put yourself through duress. You can't just wake up tired and everything like that and staying away from your woman or your wife and all of this stuff. Go through the regular rigors of daily life and then train under those conditions. Did you incorporate that advice into the, coming into this match?
Yeah, Steve, I really dedicated myself for this fight, man. I went out to Arizona for about 9 weeks, man. No women, no nothing, man. Just stayed in the gym, chilled out. It was hard, but I did it, man. I got it done, so I feel good about that.
I didn't do that when I fought Jerry Cooney. That was a tough fight.
That's right. You might want to say it's tough. It didn't look tough to me, but let me move on. I want you to tell Shannon. I want you to tell the world about you because I know I saw you when you lost to Lennox Lewis. Right. I saw you when you beat George Foreman. It was controversial. I watched that whole fight, but you pretty much fell off the map. I want you to tell people about yourself and the path your career has taken from beginning up until now, man. Break it down.
Well, it's been a lot of ups and downs. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I was a homeless kid, asthmatic, homeless kid that's growing up. My mom was a heroin addict. My dad died in prison, so I had a pretty much turbulent, rough life. But through it all, I stayed determined and focused, and I got to where I am now as heavyweight champion of the world.
When you think about the fact that they call you heavyweight champion of the world right now, there's a connotation that comes to that. When we say heavyweight champion of the world, it used to mean something when it was this man right here because he was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Now you got about 4 or 5 champions, most of which you can't even pronounce their names. This is a problem for people like me, Shannon.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
What do you, when you look at the rest of the heavyweight division, what do you see?
Well, it's a great time for me. Larry's not fighting. Mike Tyson's not fighting. Lennox Lewis not fighting. I don't see a problem with me cleaning up this. What
about the problem? The fact that you might not be able to make so much money because those guys ain't around. Larry will tell you it's all about the dough.
This is true, but I figure once I knock out the rest of these rushes, the other 3, I think the people will start coming around. And my goal is to put people in the seats, man. I think being from New York, I think the people will support and come out and see me fight.
Why do you feel that way? I mean, how do you explain the fact that the heavyweight division has regressed to this point? Do you feel like yourself. You played a role in people losing interest in the sport because, like you said, there's a newfound dedication. But that's implying that at one time you may not have been as dedicated as you are right now.
No, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of marketing and money put behind other sports like football and baseball, and not really put behind boxing. And even if you look at the UFC, it's something that people are really turning to. It's kind of gory. It's it's really violent, and people want to see knockouts, man. And that's what I came back for. My whole thing in this mission and coming back was, I wanted to box like Larry, but I wanted to hit like Mike Tyson. So that's why there's been an increase in my weight, and I'm just going out every fight seek and destroy.
One of the things that I had to ask both of you, I'm annoyed by this one element. I don't understand how two men, and Bob Arum and Don King, are able to just patrol the sport itself. I don't understand how just two guys, two promoters are able to just dictate whatever happens. Because a lot of times, a lot of fights we see out there, we're saying, look, man, we want to see this fight. We got to wait 3 or 4 years. What's the problem with that, Larry?
I'll tell you what I tried to do years ago is do my own thing as far as promoting my own fights. Network won't deal with fighters. They want to deal with managers. Therefore, a fighter got to separate himself from his job as a fighter and become a manager. And that's why it's called self-promotion. Ray Leonard did that. And the fighters, these guys got to do the same thing. They got to get away from Don King and the Bob Arums and go straight to the network themselves and make those guys deal with you.
Do you agree with that? Do you feel that way? I'm not talking about anybody specific. I'm not asking you to name any names. But overall, the principle of that the fighters try, either them or their agents or whatever, having to deal with the networks themselves. What can resurrect the sport? Because the UFC is climbing, and a lot of people are more interested in that than they are actually in boxing. Which to me, even though I like the UFC, it doesn't make any sense.
Nah, I mean, people still love boxing. I mean, you look at any big fight, whether it's De La Hoya, Hopkins, people come out, they still love boxing. Even if Mike Tyson wanted to return tomorrow, which I've heard he wants to come back and fight me.
Now you heard that now?
We're both from Brooklyn, both from Brownsville, so, he wants to get it on, we could do that too. But that's neither here nor there. I think people still love boxing. It's just a matter of time before people come back.
And they can promote themselves because he got his name, he got his championship. And Mike Tyson, of course, everybody wants to see that.
I want to ask you before we get on out of here. Talk to me about your documentary. I heard you got a documentary coming out.
What the heck are they thinking?
That's what it is?
That's what it is. That's what people that go out and do things, the athletes that go out and do things that's crazy, running into walls with the motorcycle without the helmet. Guys like Jason Williams shooting people, in his house. What the heck is he thinking?
But you're coming out. Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. You're coming out with this. Why? You're a former champion. How come you're not coming out with some documentary on the sport of boxing?
Well, we're doing that also.
Okay.
We're coming out with everything. It's about boxing. It's about my life. It's about people learning how to behave themselves after they become famous.
Oh my good Lord! You're going to talk to people about how to behave themselves? You once jumped over a car to try to get to somebody with the cameras rolling.
Yeah, because he was crazy.
Okay, and you're saying, right?
I was on your show, Steven.
There you go. I asked Larry this, Shannon, and I'll ask you the same question. Who's the greatest heavyweight of all time in your estimation?
It's like a 3-way tie for me, honestly. I mean, Jack Johnson, I didn't actually see him in person. The young Muhammad Ali, and the greatest of all time, Larry Holmes, man.
What about what? There you go. What about your boy Mike Tyson? What about somebody like him and what has happened to him? What lesson does any fighter, any pugilist out there learn from the experience, the trials and tribulations that he's going through, Shannon?
Stay grounded. I believe, just keep it real. Stay grounded, and don't lose yourself. And you need people around you, good people. Man, I've been fortunate to have good people around me.
Shannon Briggs, the great Larry Holmes. Appreciate y'all being here. Y'all know that, man. Thanks a lot. Got to take a break to pay the bills, but when I return, I'll check in with my studio audience and find out what's on their mind. Be back with you in a minute. Larry Holmes, the heavyweight champion of the world, Shannon Briggs, a name I can actually pronounce. Just stay tuned. I'll be back in a minute, y'all.